Welcome to our channel, Whispers of Light, where we are creating a new unit on the power of influence, mastering subtle mind control without manipulation. In this lesson, we'll discuss how to exert influence over others without them ever knowing. For many people, this is what true power looks like. Not the ability to force your will upon others, but the skill to nudge them in the direction you want through invisible means. You might be surprised to learn that this form of mind control is not only possible, but also incredibly accessible. By understanding a few simple principles and putting them into practice, you can become a master of subtle persuasion and start seeing the results you desire in all areas of your life. In fact, this is a power that has been utilized by some of the most successful people throughout history. From influential leaders to savvy salespeople, those who have mastered the art of influence are able to get what they want without resorting to manipulation or coercion. And best of all, you don't need to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth to learn these skills. With a little practice and the right know-how, anyone can become an expert at steering the perceptions and decisions of those around them. So, if you're ready to unlock this hidden potential within yourself and take your life to the next level, then keep watching. We guarantee that by the end of this course, you'll be well on your way to becoming a true master of subtle mind control. Let's start with a surprising admission. As much as we like to think otherwise, we humans are not free-thinking individuals. Our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are greatly influenced by external factors, often without our conscious awareness. This might sound alarming, but it's actually incredibly liberating because it means that we have the power to shape our own minds and influence those around us. If you've already watched our previous videos, you've likely developed your observational skills, allowing you to read micro-expressions, body language, and other subtle cues. This gives you a significant advantage when it comes to understanding where someone is coming from and what makes them tick. But how do you use this knowledge to change someone's mind subtly and effectively? One way is to leverage Cialdini's 6 principles of influence. These are scientifically proven psychological tactics that can be used to persuade others to do what you want without them even realizing it. Reciprocity. People feel compelled to return favors, give something valuable first to earn trust and commitment. Once you get someone committed to something, they're more likely to follow through with it, even if their initial interest was low. Find ways to get them to make small commitments early on so that they feel invested in the outcome. Social proof. People tend to follow the lead of others. Highlight what others have already done or said to influence their decision. If you want to introduce a new idea to a group, find ways to incorporate the opinions and experiences of respected members to make it more palatable. Liking. People are more likely to agree with others they like. Build rapport by finding common ground, being genuinely friendly, and using the reciprocity principle to help them out. Authority. People defer to experts and figures of authority. Establish your credibility by sharing your expertise and experience relevant to the situation. If you're trying to convince a group to adopt a new policy, present data and arguments from respected sources to support your position. Scarcity. People want what they can't have. Create a sense of urgency or highlight the exclusive nature of an opportunity to increase its appeal. When making a sales presentation, emphasize the limited availability of a product or service to motivate the customer to act quickly. Now let's look at some subtle techniques you can use to influence others. Mirroring is a powerful subliminal mind control technique that can help you build rapport and establish a connection with others. By subtly mimicking another person's behavior, you create a sense of unity and understanding, which can make it easier to persuade them to see your point of view. For example, if you notice that your conversation partner frequently uses open body language, such as uncrossing their arms or legs, try doing the same. Or if they tend to lean in towards you when listening, mirror their posture and bring your body closer to theirs. However, it's important to be careful when using this technique as it can easily cross the line into imitation, which can be off-putting to others. The key is to mirror the other person's behavior just enough to create a sense of connection without drawing attention to yourself. For instance, instead of copying their speech patterns or mannerisms, focus on matching their body language and general demeanor. Remember, the goal of mirroring is to build rapport and establish a connection, not to become a copycat. When used correctly, this technique can be a valuable tool for influencing others and getting them to see things from your perspective. Framing is another effective way to get people to do what you want. By emphasizing certain aspects of a situation and downplaying others, you can shape how someone perceives it and increases the likelihood of them agreeing to your request. Here's a simple example. Let's say you want to convince your boss to give you a raise. Instead of asking for a raise because you feel you deserve it, try framing it in terms of the value you bring to the company. For example, you could say something like, "I'd like to discuss my compensation. Since joining the team, I've consistently exceeded expectations and brought in several key clients. I'm confident that I can continue to contribute to the company's success and believe that my current salary no longer reflects my contributions." In this example, you're not simply stating your worth, you're explaining the tangible benefits you bring to the table. This is a much more persuasive way to approach the conversation than simply saying, "I feel I deserve a raise." It's important to remember that framing is not about lying or manipulating others. Rather, it's about presenting information in a way that highlights the aspects most relevant to your desired outcome. By mastering this technique, you can become more effective at influencing others and getting them to see things from your perspective. Another powerful thing you can do to shape people's perceptions is to tell stories. Stories are a universal way of communicating information and influencing others. They allow you to paint a vivid picture in someone's mind, evoking emotions and creating a lasting impression. To effectively use stories for influence, you need to know your audience and tailor your story accordingly. Consider their values, beliefs, and perspectives when crafting your narrative. This will help you connect with them on a deeper level and make your message more impactful. For example, if you're trying to convince a group of environmentally conscious consumers to switch to a more sustainable product, share a story about the harmful effects of plastic pollution on the environment. On the other hand, if you're pitching to a group of business owners, frame the same product as a cost-saving solution that reduces waste and increases efficiency. By tailoring your story to your audience, you can make it more relevant and persuasive, increasing the likelihood that they will agree with your point of view. Additionally, using emotional language and imagery can make your story more memorable and impactful. When telling your story, bring the listener into the scene and make them feel like they are experiencing everything alongside you. This can create a strong emotional connection and make your message more persuasive. For example, instead of simply saying, "Our product will save you time and money," try telling a story about a customer who was able to achieve significant results by using your product. Paint a picture of their struggles, the moment they discovered your product, and the positive impact it had on their life. This approach not only makes your message more memorable, but it also creates a sense of trust and authenticity, which are essential for effective influence. Being assertive is a crucial skill for anyone who wants to make a difference in the world. When you're assertive, you're able to stand up for yourself and your beliefs while still respecting the rights of others. This is an essential quality for anyone who wants to be taken seriously and have their voice heard. Being assertive doesn't mean being aggressive or pushy. It means confidently and respectfully expressing your needs and opinions. It's about setting healthy boundaries and standing up for what you believe in without compromising your own integrity. One way to be more assertive is to use the right language. Instead of using tentative language that undermines your message, use confident and clear language that leaves no room for misinterpretation. For example, instead of saying, "I think maybe we should do this," try saying, "I believe that this is the best course of action." This subtle shift in language can make a big difference in how others perceive you and your ideas. Another way to be more assertive is to avoid apologetic language. Don't apologize for having an opinion or for making a request. This can make you seem weak and indecisive, which can undermine your ability to influence others. Instead, own your opinions and make your requests directly and confidently. This not only helps you become more assertive, but also builds trust and respect among those around you. While these techniques can be powerful tools for influencing others, it's important to remember that they should never be used for malicious purposes. Manipulation and exploitation are tactics that may work in the short term, but ultimately damage trust in relationships. True power comes not from dominating or controlling others, but from lifting them up and helping them achieve their goals. Now let's test your understanding of this lesson with a scenario. You're in a meeting with your colleagues discussing an upcoming project. Your boss presents an idea that you're not fully convinced of, but you want to give him support. How would you apply the concepts we've learned in this lesson to influence your boss's perspective? Well, here's one way you could handle the situation. First, you could start by building rapport with your boss. Notice any subtle cues about how he's feeling or what might be on his mind. For example, if he seems stressed or tired, you could offer him a coffee or ask how he's doing. This simple gesture of kindness can help establish a connection and set a positive tone for the conversation. Next, listen carefully to your boss's idea and ask clarifying questions to show that you understand his perspective. This will demonstrate respect and consideration, which can increase the likelihood that he'll be open to your feedback. Then, using the framing technique, express your concerns and offer alternative solutions. For example, instead of simply saying, "I don't agree with this idea," try saying something like, "I appreciate your input, but I'm concerned that this approach may not be the most effective way forward." Instead, perhaps we could consider option B, which has a higher success rate. Finally, use the authority principle to lend credibility to your argument. Cite examples from your experience or research to support your claims and emphasize the benefits of your proposed solution. By following these steps, you can increase the likelihood that your boss will see your point of view and be open to considering alternative approaches. Remember, the key to successful influence is to use these techniques ethically and responsibly. By doing so, you can build trust and rapport with those around you while still achieving your desired outcome. So go ahead and put these lessons into practice and see the difference it can make in your personal and professional life. You just might be wowed by these amazing techniques. If you love this content and found it helpful, consider subscribing to our channel. You'll stay in the loop with our latest wonderful and knowledgeable content and help us reach more people. Together, we can empower each other with the skills of perception and persuasion. Smack that subscribe button today, and let's keep growing and learning in this fast-changing world. Come back to Whispers of Light for powerful suggestions in your daily spiritual life.